Alright, so the first thing I'm gonna do, try to diagnose this thing. I'm gonna check the verus solenoids. So continue on that. Continue. That's going to increase the speed. You hear the car's revving up. Desired position is 120 degrees. The actual is 120 degrees on the intake verus. Verus is at the top limit position. A higher setting is not possible. Next step, intake camshaft is adjusted by negative 20 degree angles. We're trying to bring it down 20 degree steps. Right, so it's trying to bring it down, and it can't. The verus system cannot be adjusted. Verus and emergency operation, terminating the function check. Right? So what it's saying is it can't move that, or the timing doesn't move when it's requesting it to move. Alright, so on the top there, blue is my exhaust camshaft. Green is my intake. Right, and this is my crank position sensor in yellow. The red is my verus solenoid for the intake. What I don't like about it is that it's going from 5 volts almost to 0, right? I could stretch that out. Sorry for the background noise. Right, I could adjust the time based on there. Alright, yeah, let's go back. Let's go 50 milliseconds. Let's go 10 milliseconds. 5 milliseconds. 1 millisecond. That's 1 millisecond at a time, right? Let's see if I can pause and catch that. So I don't like that signal, right? That's supposed to activate the oil control valve, the verus solenoid. But that's going from 5 volts down to about 0. That doesn't look like a good control signal, right, at all. Right. Right, and that's what I'm probed into right now. Right, that doesn't look like a good control signal at all. What am I probed into? Let's go check that. Right, so right now I got the crank position sensor back probe. I got the cam and I got the cam position sensors, both intake and exhaust probe right now. And I also got the intake verus solenoid valve probed up. Right? So that's going to your pin 5, white and blue of the DME, right? Engine's ECU. Right, so right now I got all those back probed. Alright, can crank. I'm only seeing 5 volts. in the way. See if I get some better light. Light over here so you guys can see. Alright. That's how I'm back probed in. Yellow traces on my white and blue wire. Hard to see down there. Zoom in. Alright, so you're gonna be white with blue down there. I don't know if you can see it. Pin 5, white and blue. Right down there, that guy right there. Right now, I'm going to move that pin over to white and red. White and red is the exhaust Vanos solenoid. Right, so I'm going to try to do this while I'm holding the phone. See if I could capture that also. Let's see. Get some good light for you. This thing is a magnet. Let me see if I can get this thing to hang somewhere. Let's see. Alright, that should be fine. Zoom out. Alright, so I'm going to go on a white and red wire. That guy right under it, next to the yellow and red. Alright, so that's white and red. And you always want to back probe so you don't stretch out the pins. You got a potential problem when you put the connector back. There you go. Hard to see down there. Right. Hopefully I'm in there. Alright, so that's your white with red down there. Let's see what that signal looks like. That's a scan tool. Now if you look on the exhaust camshaft, right, we're hanging around 14 volts. That looks like something I want to see on a ground control solenoid. Let me add some more time in there so you can see what the control signal looks like. Let's go to 100 milliseconds. All right. All right, so that's what it should look like. That's what you want to see. All right, battery voltage down the ground. That's my intake, green trace on the bottom, exhaust. Right, don't move. Why we got 5 volts? I believe we got a bias voltage. Right, I believe we're looking at bias voltage from an incomplete circuit. Right, so it's shooting out 5 volts. And if I see that 5 volts at the connector, right, that means we don't have an open circuit. If I don't see that 5 volts at the connector, I mean, we got an open circuit. And I think I'm just looking at 5 volts bias voltage. But gotta say that the part 2 testing, I'm gonna go down to the connector, right? It is where all these guys live down here. So I gotta check those guys. Right, that's my intake and exhaust cams and intake and exhaust Vano solenoids, right? Crank is on the left hand side of the motor by the bell housing, so I'm not going to be sticking my hand down there while it's hot. Right? So when I do finally get to testing that, I'll update you guys on what's going on later.